Hi, Kris.
Hey, man.
We're back.
Do you think anyone noticed we were gone?
Sure. I don't know, but
did.
it's this is episode 34 of That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. Today will probably be a little sometimes about golf.
What episode is it?
74, isn't it?
Oh, I thought you said 34.
34. Episode 34. Lockdown Golf Podcast. No, it's episode 74. If it did say 34, like that's a little foreshadowing to, God, I can't even put my water. Not we're really off. We have some golf to cover, but we'll talk a little bit about why we didn't have a show last week. Getting back into the swing of things here. We tried really hard, just for multiple reasons, was not in the cards to record a show last week. So the streak is broken. We have finally not 74 consecutive weeks. So this is we are 74 of 75 consecutive weeks at this point.
Yeah, but your streak is still alive because you still have done every show.
That's a good point. All right.
Even though we did do a show last week that didn't make it, did not make it. Adam Unfiltered and I did record a show, but we had some technical difficulties, which we hadn't had in forever. We were due for some technical difficulties, but so your streak is still alive. And congratulations. I'm
a little behind the curtains. Like, it does kind of make me feel better. Like, oh, all right, I still have that. Thank God.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was like, dude, I can still do it last week. You're like, no, you shouldn't, which is fair. Yeah. It's like, it hurt. I wanted my streak to go longer. You know what I mean? But yeah, God, I still have it. Nah, for what reason? I don't know. Like, it's just in my head that I need to do that. Right. All right. Hey, real quick, let's get down to the business.
Yeah. Do the thing with the stuff.
If you could do us such a favor to go down below, if you're watching this in YouTube, if you're not, there's an option. If you're watching this at driverangeheroes.com, there's an option to watch on YouTube somewhere down here. It says bottom left of the screen, right? I had to pretend I was looking at the screen. Watch on YouTube, hit that, or just go to the link below. You can go to Kris's YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. A lot going on. Unfortunately, Kris and I ran into some obstacles, shocking, that may prolong a lot of the things we've had planned. Let's just say we'll get to it, but one of Kris's obstacles is no longer an obstacle in my life. But like the video, do us a favor, maybe leave us a comment, tell us how you've been the last couple of weeks. Sorry we haven't been around. We're here.
I feel like we're back though. Like Tuesday, there will be a new the release of this video. There will be a new unboxing for people to watch. We have this show back, so like we're
getting back into it, folks. Getting back into it. If you've subscribed and watched the videos in the past, we just recently had a 500 subscriber giveaway. You're probably wondering, like, man, it's been a while. What's going on with that giveaway? I wanted to win a golf ball clock, some Second City Golf swag, like the new lightweight hoodie too. I like that. It's pretty nice. Sharp. Yeah. I wanted to win a free driver fitting from Club Champion to go with that free Callaway Maverick Sub-Zero driver you guys are going to give me. You want to know? So, Kris, do me a favor. Give everybody a contest update.
The contest is closed.
It's closed. Okay.
As of this moment. So I've captured the people that qualified by subscribing and commenting, and we will do a drawing from that pool and that pool only.
All right.
So thank you, everyone that entered. Thank you for everyone that subscribed to get us over the 500 subscriber hump. And one of you will be rewarded very shortly. We'll be in contact. We'll be in touch.
Stay tuned. All right. That's right. Tuned. And don't forget about that 1,000 subscriber giveaway we've been teasing. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
All right.
That one's going to be fun.
Kris, when I last left you, what should we talk about? Should we talk about what was going on with you? Should we talk about why we didn't have a show last week? What should we do? What do you want to do first?
Let's talk about why we didn't have a show.
Okay.
Let's address that because that's the most important, I feel like.
Oh boy, was that a doozy. So Kris and I record this show typically Sunday or Monday night, right?
Right.
And we were talking about our weekend plans for golfing, and maybe we'd play together Saturday morning the 19th, but we knew we weren't going to. It made it tea time. And then let's just say Friday night, the 18th, my head started feeling a little weird. I started feeling my body wasn't right. Something was up. Went to the ER that night. I was in the hospital for 4 days.
Yeah.
And I got home.
Crazy, man.
Finally got released. I won't go too much into details. Wasn't good. Let me just say this. I'm going to use this. Actually, it was my mom's idea, and I think it's a good one. I'm going to use our platform. It's a PSA. I don't like to get too serious on this, but I've gone through life. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm invincible. Nothing's happened to me yet. I'm fine. I don't need to go to the doctor. Right?
Right.
Go to the doctor. 36 years old. I don't care if you're 28, 30. I just gave Jay Armour of Sub 70 Golf a lecture about this. Go get that physical. Go to the doctor. Do all that stuff. Take care of yourself. If I had gone to the doctor and just got my usual physical every year, took care of myself, this wouldn't have happened. Okay. And not for the reasons a lot of you probably think, just pure genetics, whatever, general health.
Right.
So, please take care of yourselves. Go to the doctor. Make sure you're doing all right. The people that want to have you, that you're around, want to keep you around, do it. All right. Please take care of yourself. Don't think you're young and you're okay. You're immune to it. Don't care who you are. Do the things you got to do to take care of yourself. Okay. That's my PSA.
Yeah. So many men specifically, I think particularly it's a male thing, tend to operate their bodies to failure.
Yeah.
Like they'll just go until something breaks and they go, oh, I got to go. And it's like, sometimes the thing that breaks is like, permanent.
I'll say sometimes the thing that breaks, you won't know it breaks and it's too late. And when I say too late, like, it's too late and there's nothing you can do and there won't be anything you can do. So there's my PSA. Yeah. Don't be too proud. Don't think like, oh, I'll do it when I'm 40 or whatever. Go get taken care of and take your health serious. Okay. I will be doing so. Big eye-opening experience for me this past week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so that was my my Father's Day, my daughter's birthday. It was fantastic. I was in the hospital for both of them. And even though like
Were you in the hospital too for the tornado?
I was in the hospital for the tornado. I had to get wheeled out of my room. So there I am having a conversation in the hallway, let's just say, with one of the specialists who was just happy he had someone to talk to that was relatively normal. It was quite the experience. I'm sitting there going, man, hell yeah, at least the hospital's like super sturdy and safe once you get away from all the glass windows that are in your room. Right. So yeah, I was in the hospital for 4 days during the tornado, missed my daughter's birthday, missed Mother's Day. And then on top of it all, Kris, as I'm so Friday night, I'm in the hospital. My family's in Wisconsin, and I say, hey, you need to know this. I'm in the ER. I'm having some legit issues. My wife's like, we'll come home. It's late, I'm like, no. Yeah. I got my parents. I'm not dying. Like,
right.
Don't worry about it. So they come home Saturday morning, and I get a text. Hey, do you want some other bad news? I'm like,
so awful.
Yes. The dog died in the car on the way home. So
it's unbelievable.
On top of all that, also my dog died last week. I mean, she was old. It wasn't like, oh, it was a horrible, unexpected thing. I mean, she's 18, 19, 20 years old. She's an old dog.
Right.
So, it's kind of nice not having to make the decision, so to speak. But yeah, so I missed out on that too. What a weekend. So I'm happy to put last weekend in the rearview mirror. I will say I came home Monday morning or Monday afternoon and I texted Kris. I'm like, well, do you want to do the show? And Kris is like, no, you're not. I'm not letting you.
No. God.
So
there was no way you're going to get a link.
Yeah.
to that
so
show.
I did not record the show. Anyway, on top of all of this, I would save this for the plugs normally, but I do want to also take a moment to say, let's just say it's one of these situations in life where you got to listen, and I need to slow things down in general a bit. And one of those being my beloved website, driverangeheroes.com. Still going to be posting stuff. The other guys still have stuff going. Just to keep my sanity, I'll still do this show every week, so it'll go up. Adam and I will try to do the podcast. I still have new gear coming to check out and all that. So I will go crazy if I don't do anything. I'll be honest, I can't swing a golf club right now. Literally. So I don't think it's far off. We'll see, but I'm gonna take it easy on the side a little bit. If you're used to everyday cadence and a lot of stuff there, let's slow it down. Let myself take a breather. Get my feet under me. So I have as you're watching this, there's already a post out on the site. Want to go read about it? Have a click, walk you through it a little bit, tell you a little bit. I think a little bit more about this thing. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Don't remember. I wrote the post last week, and Kris.
It's a good story to read, anyways.
Kris reviewed it for me.
Even if you know the end. Yeah,
I wrote it, and I literally. As I'm writing it, I'm like, well, I was writing at the same time, okay, work, here's what's going on. I will be off the radar for at least a week. I'm like, I can barely type. So, Kris, I haven't edited this yet. Can you just peer review it? Is this crazy? Right. Does this make any sense? Is it worth posting? So he at least cleared it conceptually.
It's very much worth posting.
So check that out if you want. But yeah, so I'm back. We're back. The show's back on schedule. Figure it out. I love doing this show, so I'm happy. I'm happy to have it. I need it right now more than ever. Let's get back on to better topics, more fun, positive.
Right, well,
stuff.
I just want to say that I'm glad and I'm happy you're alive, and I'm happy that you're here doing the show, man.
Thank you. Oh, and I want to point out, I got a delightful flower arrangement from the McEwen household, and it's still looking good, sitting on the kitchen peninsula. Beautiful.
Is it good? Yeah. That's our favorite. That's what this hat is. It's our favorite flower company.
Yeah, and proceeds of it go to charity, I believe.
They're great.
Was such a thoughtful grown-up move, and it's what my wife's like. So weird how we transitioned into actual grown-up friends. Because my neighbor, one day my two guys in the neighborhood, I mean my lawn didn't even need it yet. And these guys are out mowing my lawn for me. And I was like, what legends. They brought food over for my wife and the kids. They gave us a big plant for our dog. It's weird transition into actual grown-up friends led by Kris McEwen. So thank you. Thank you. I very love it. My wife is also very excited about the it's not a vase of vase.
Oh yeah, the mason jar. The mason jar.
It's huge. I don't want these flowers to die anytime soon because they're lovely, but I can't wait to do something with this. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I love the mason jar.
All right, so I'm back. Thank you for having me back. And yes, Kris, I missed you dearly. Obviously, I'm still bummed we didn't get to play golf. One last story of this whole ordeal. So as I'm sitting on my couch being like, something's wrong and there's no one home, I'm not going to get crazy calling the ambulance. So, my parents live across the street, but they were in downtown Glen Ellen. So I call them, they come over. But in the midst of all this, deciding what I need to do, and I should probably go to the ER. I remembered a couple hours prior, I made a tee time for Saturday morning. Don't worry. I had enough sense and wherewithal to call the golf course. I'm like, hey, I made a tee time for tomorrow morning. I'm not feeling good, which was an understatement. I'm not feeling good. Can we just cancel that, please? Yeah, sure, Mr. Bush, no problem. Got my priorities straight. Got my priorities straight. All right. So last time we spoke, we both had quite the golf schedule lined up. I was fortunate enough to play with the sub 70 guys out at Kishwaukee.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I'm just gonna say this. Not going into much detail. There's something new in sub 70 world. I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
I'm just going to cliffhang with that. very excited about. I texted Jason Highland because all I've had time to do is like sit and daydream anyway. So I'm like, hey, that thing I know about I found out about, like, that thing's gonna be nice. Just saying. So I played with them. I got out with John Heisey at the Donald Ross Classic Oak Park. Don't worry. Yeah. Once again, the place had my number. I can't beat it. Don't know what it is about it. It's like I can hit the ball well, but God forbid I hit it like in the same place where I want to hit it. It's there's something about it, but one day I'm gonna crack it. I promise. Yeah. I also played Calumet Country Club, another very quote unquote Donald Ross. That was a no one's home Twilight kind of thing, and I played very well there. So that's also how I knew I was in trouble for Oak Park, because I played well at Calumet. Yeah, so I had a nice golfy week, but you had a golf history week, and I think we may have talked about one of them on the show before, but if not, just tell us about all your golfs.
Yeah. So, what was it? It was midweek. My pal Kris, Mizuno Kris, we'll just call him that, I suppose, reached out and said, hey, do you want to play Riverside Country Club? Which is, one of the very first golf clubs. I think it was the first, when it was first built, it had 3 holes maybe, and then it was expanded to 5. Yeah. And then ultimately, our pal Langford of Langford and Moreau got his hands on it and made it an 18. And just a fantastic golf course, super fun, great greens. They're kind of, they haven't really hosted anything or anything like that. I think that's not true. They did host a qualifier. I think actually the week before, but yeah, anyways, you can see a lot of the Langford early work in the green. So Langford, if you, like we talked about Losoni, he pushed everything up. He was a steam shovel guy, that whole kind of thing. Well, these greens are kind of sunken in almost, and he built up everything around it. So he kind of like framed, all the green, not all the greens, but he framed a lot of the greens with those mounds, which is kind of cool. Like, it was a different feel. And you could, you had a little bit more backboard every once in a while. Greens were super fast and super true. We had a lot of fun on those, laughing at some of like everything rolled out, 5 feet. Yeah. Everything. Every comebacker was at least 5 feet long. You just couldn't get it to stop,
prior to this like tornado monsoon season we're running into, like same thing happened at Oak Park. And I mean, those are very, they're very, in terms of spirit, true Donald Ross greens. And they're like, we haven't had the water to keep them, them controllable. Like, the ball's flying on them, and they're trying not to cut them. So like, oh, that keeps it slow, but like, it just didn't. And to make matters worse, I had a tournament that started while we were playing called the Radix Cup, which is like the top 18. It's a tournament they've held there for a while, and it's like top 18 Illinois amateurs versus top 18 Illinois like PGA pros. And so they have all the pins in just horrid positions. We're talking like 3 feet off fringes, just totally inaccessible. And so you're like, oh, cool. I'm on the green and I have like an 11-foot putt for birdie, 4 putt.
I think I had I must have had 7 3 putts.
Okay. Yeah.
At Riverside. It was rough. But still a blast of a golf course. Some really interesting holes. A pretty, for a country club, it's private. Pretty laid back vibe. So that's what I hear. You weren't going to change your shoes in the parking lot or anything like that, but it's still pretty chill. There's a pool and there's, whatever, kids running around and the whole thing. But yeah, it was a fun course. Closes out with a par 3, which is cool. And it actually has, I think, like an extra par 3 just kind of hanging out.
The 19th hole, if you will.
Yeah, I guess they could use it for that, but like, it's just kind of chilling there. But yeah, really fun round. Good times with Kris, as always. And he's the same guy that got me on Skokie last year. So that was cool. Yeah. And so then the next day I found myself at Olympia Fields playing the North Course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is all kinds of historic there as well. Built in 1915, something like that.
I want to say North is like 1920s. I could be wrong.
It's got a weird history because there were Olympia Fields, originally had 4 courses. After World War II, I think they hit some hard times. They had to sell like half the land, and they kept the North and then built the South, I thought, but
right. So they had North, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And
right.
North, East, basically like it was like North, West, Central, and South. And they took so North was the 4th course. They took course 1, 2, and 3 and whatever, property they had left and took all the holes and basically made the South course.
Right. And the South is actually designed. Who designed the South?
Wasn't South Bendelow originally, and now it's like some combo of, and people have done a lot of work to it. And then someone came in and did like a bunch of kind of, all right, let's get. It's always been sort of hodgepodge, since World War II. Let's get it in a great place that matches the greatness of the North Course. And they, but now I forgot who. Someone's gonna kill me. Maybe it's Doak. I could be wrong, but somebody's coming in and they're redoing. Doak doesn't sound right. Someone's doing a bunch of.
Doak's doing Medina 3, right?
No, Medina 3 was going to be the Jeff Ogilvy group. Those Australian groups, like
Clayton and Ogilvy and those guys.
But there's a bunch of work that's supposed to be slated for Olympia to spruce up the South Course a little bit, and then they wanted to do. Not sure exactly what it was told to me at some point. I don't remember, but spruce up North a little bit too. And I think basically championship, polish it up a little bit. I think for the championship caliber, and you modernize it while at the same time keeping it true to its roots. Blah blah blah. The usual.
Yeah.
So I purposely didn't ask you privately over the couple of weeks about your experience because I thought, we'll talk about the next show, and then I went to the hospital instead. And no offense, Kris, I love you to death, and I've really enjoyed having you to talk to for the last week, but really golf experience has not been top of mind for me.
I imagine.
But I do want to know about your experience on Olympia North, what you thought, how you played, etc. Any highlights, what caught your eye, just everything. Tell me all of it.
So the interesting part of it, it's hosted U.S. Opens. It's open, hosted the amateur stuff, like all that kind of stuff, right? It's got
basically everything. Yeah.
Huge history there. BMW, the whole thing. So really the greens aren't going to be super tricked out. They're not going to be real crazy. Like, we have the 18th hole. If you remember last year, I think John Rahm on 18 at the BMW sank a crazy putt. DJ sank a crazy putt. There's a big swoop down, but overall after playing Riverside, which did have some sort of,
that's an interesting, I wouldn't have
lots of undulations to them. Like, the North greens, while they were super, super firm, we couldn't hold a green to save our lives. Like the 4 of us were just bouncing balls off, pool tables. Basically, the course was just so dry and so firm. I mean, the fun thing is you can hit a golf ball 320 yards because it rolls for 50 yards.
Right.
But then your approach shot, if you stay below the hole, you might be able to hold the green. If you go after the pin or beyond it, like that thing, it's gone. It's off the green. You're going to chip back.
Or or are you going to chip back? Like that was the thing I was curious about, if how much you realize, like the par 3s aren't so bad, but most of the holes, it's like you miss those greens, good luck. And I mean, getting it back out of you, no, I'm like having a shot, finding your ball. Like it is penal.
Yeah, for sure. Fun story.
Okay.
Our pal J Riv, the J Riv, what have you. Second shot of the day, about I'm going to say it was 150 out from, in the fairway. 2-hopper in for eagle. First eagle he's ever had in his life at Olympia Fields North.
I feel like I say this every time. Like he's had other eagles because I've been like, that's the first eagle you've ever had. Like, No, this is his
I
first.
don't think this is his first. I think it's his first. I asked him, I'm like, when's the last time you got an eagle? Because I've never seen him get an eagle. I play with the guy almost every weekend.
Add this to the list of you two. It just doesn't compute to me. You're both like, you're good enough. I'm like, you've had to have accidentally broken 80 before. Nope. Him, he did once. And then it's like, well, you've had eagles before. Like, you can trip into an eagle, every now and then. Like, no. How did J-Riv has never had an eagle before?
I know, it's weird. He hits the ball a mile too. It doesn't make any sense. But anyways, yeah, so that happened. And then on the next hole, his playing partner, who actually his second shot, he like sculled over the green, and he was the member. He dropped another one, just to kind of hit it, and he too hopped his in. So it's like,
and someone's like, well, Olympia North is playing easy to get today.
Right. But it's Olympia Fields, the North Course. It's historic, it's pristine. It's, beautiful, it's all those things. It's also Olympian, Fields, and it's kind of very proper, that sort of vibe. It's certainly not Flossmoor Country Club, right? It's much more of like an old school sort of, take your hat off in the clubhouse and the whole thing. Here's your locker for the day, and that whole kind of thing. So take that for what it's worth. If you're into that kind of thing, then
what's funny about that for me, the couple times let me be clear. I would never fit in as a member there. Like,
of course, yeah, right.
Not that part of society, but it's always been very relaxed and very like, yeah, it's big and fancy, but like, don't worry, take a load off, and you're fine. And so it's interesting for me to hear that experience for you. That's
it could have been me. What do they say? Like
projecting,
like feeling uncomfortable because it was Olympia Fields and I didn't know anybody. When I go to Flossmoor and play Flossmoor, like, I feel at home. Like, I know the guy running the joint, and he introduces me to people, and it's kind of that whole thing and whatever. But
that does make a huge difference in general, though, because like,
for sure,
face it, Oak Park Country Club, while very welcoming and inviting, is a little bougie, and but I know people there, so I don't get so much the like, you're a guest in our hallowed grounds, William. Like, I don't get that,
and that's kind of that's kind of what
again at Olympia, like, humble brag here, like, I'm fortunate that like my one connection there gets me a pretty laid back vibe. Now, that said, the worst "you don't belong here, you peasant" glare I ever got by a passing golf group on a hole was at Olympia playing the North Course. I even got back to like our group who were the people of Olympia, so to speak. And I was like, ho, you guys may need to find that group back in the locker room and apologize for my presence here. And they're like, don't worry about it, dude. You're with us. You're cool. You're fine.
Yeah. And I could kind of see, I don't, anyways, whatever. I don't want to,
a clubhouse.
Oh, it's really just kind of for a golfer who enjoys history and who's seen these things on television to like pull up, into the parking lot, and there it is, right? Like, there's the clock tower and it's the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And like, it's very rare that you'd get sort of like almost kind of butterflies, like golf butterflies, like,
right.
I can't believe I'm seeing them. I'm on the grounds. Like, they lifted the gate and let me drive in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's super cool. We didn't get to spend a ton of time in the clubhouse. It's huge.
Yeah.
The place is enormous. And it's,
the clubhouse is literally acres big.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool too, where, they did a good job with the renovations and things and expansion and all that to kind of keep the old school vibe of the locker room.
Yeah.
Like, the locker room feels like it's an old golf locker room, which is cool. But then you keep walking and it starts to modernize. They've got the gym there now, and they've got like all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. they got candy sitting around for you to grab.
Right.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
I miss candy a lot. I just want to say real quick.
But yeah,
shout out to my guy Red at Olympia Fields. My guy Red makes that place the best. Love Red.
All right. As far as how I played, I did nothing like losing your swing at an historic, once in a lifetime private course.
That's what those courses do to you. They
it's true, man. It's true.
They take some they just beat up your brain for no good reason. I'll never forget, my dad told me a story when I was a kid about like, he got to play Medina and he played so bad because he was like, you're in the middle of the fairway, you don't want to take a divot. God forbid you ruin their $1 billion, perfectly kept fairway, even though that's what you're supposed to do. And sure enough, I'm like, all right, I know that's a mindset coming in. I'm not going to worry about it. Like, the golf here, you beat up a golf course. Sure enough, you get on one of those courses and you're like, oh boy, oh God, geez. It's not so much the first tee shot. It's now you have to play it once you're out on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. So I birdied one.
There you go.
I birdied one. Yeah.
I love that.
Fairway, green, one putt. Let's go.
Pretty wide, let's straight, open. The bunkers can be a little tricky there, but flat. First hole, par 5.
Right.
That's like when it's pretty easy. It's a par 5. The length isn't too intimidating, and it gives you hope. And then you run into that like buzzsaw of like 2, 3, 4. You're like, oh
yeah,
never mind.
So it was like I birdied one, was muddling my way, my typical golf style, a bogey here, bogey there, whatever, through 2 through 6 or something, and then 7 through like 12 or probably 7 through 14 was just a complete disaster. And then 15 through 18, you get back on it and you're like, all right, I'm just going to go and play the game I used to play, in 2017. Like, I'm going to try to hit a controlled fade and work my way through the,
and it goes fine. And then when you're tailing them up at the end, someone's like, all right, Kris, 98. Does that sound right? And you're like,
right.
Yeah, sadly it does.
I know. I kept saying, like, I was playing with my Instagram pal Lee Abamonte. You should go look him up. He's awesome. I'm like, remember that time I birdied the very first hole? Like, that was awesome.
That was 412 strokes ago. Yeah.
Right.
Two dozen golf
looking
balls.
through the trees from my wayward drive again. But overall, I mean, I'm not going to complain about either round the way I played, because you're on those courses. It's kind of like, who cares? You want to just kind of have fun. And we did go to the spot where Tiger hit his crazy whirly bird fade. That corner. Which is cool too, to see like how much he actually really did have to bend that ball to get to where it goes. And the fact that it stayed was just,
so
awesome.
When last time I played there, one of the guys in a group was the club historian.
Nice.
Fascinating guy in general, like never mind that part, but it was funny with him because he'd be like, oh, where you're standing right there was where Bobby Jones hit this shot. And that's where Walter Hagen hit that shot. And you're like, I'm like in the, just off, by a bunker on the 7th hole, like a fairly insignificant shot, you'd think. And he had all of them. And then we're like, how do you know? He's like, I have the picture of it. There's a picture of him. Like, oh yeah, where is it? Like, we could see it in the clubhouse. He's like, oh, on my table at home. Like, I'm going through it. It's in the files. Man. That's awesome.
That is awesome. Super cool.
The funny thing is, you guys teed off late in the day, and the Riv hit me up asking if I wanted to join you guys. Like, I can make it work. And I started doing the math, and I'm like, let's see. On my tee time, I'm gonna be up at Park. I'll be done at this. It's gonna be an hour drive, adding some traffic. I'm like, I could probably get there right as you guys are teeing off. Like, no, I can't. Can't do it.
Well, hopefully we're gonna go back. And the funny thing is, like, the members typically play the South. Like, that's kind of their home course. The North is for the tourists like us, and they bring people on, for company.
I've sort of wondered though if that isn't, because I've heard that before, and I feel like that's like almost a way to be like, That's cute. But we don't play the North. I'm sorry. You have a Willie Park Jr.
I think they play it. I think they just don't. They play it. It's one of those things. Like you kind of take it for granted. Like, like people come to my house and they look out at the view and they're like, oh my God, like this is your view every day. And I'm like, yeah,
concrete jungle, baby. Concrete jungle.
Not that I don't appreciate it, but like you just can't grow sort of.
So there was a guy last time we played, there was a single we ran with this historian guy. We ran into this guy who's playing as a single, and he does every day. And I think he lives somewhere Indiana border-ish, and he owns a company that's not too far from there, but owns a company. I may have this mixed up a little bit, something like North Shore. So Olympia's right in between. Well, not right in between, but like is in between, home and work.
Yeah.
And so he every day stops on the way home, plays 18, and he goes, yeah, it's awesome. I play the North. I get to play, historic championship course because people, we're not going to play those course. And he's like, they're crazy. And so I come out here, I walk, so I can kind of like run a little bit. I'm done in 2 hours, and I'm home by 6:30. It's like, man, you're a genius.
It's a good life,
you're
man.
A genius. Also, can I have some money?
Right.
He said, sure. Just next time I see him, I haven't seen him since.
Right.
Well, that sounds fun, man.
You have that you go with for it,
yeah. I'd be like, hey, could someone show me where that guy's locker is? I'm gonna leave a note.
Yeah.
Like, what's his name? I go, I don't know. Don't worry about it. All right. Well, hey, that's great. I'm glad you got out there. I'm glad you got to experience it. So now we can talk about it all the time.
It's true.
Anything else? So we got to wrap up in the golf talk.
No, I went out and played 9 yesterday real quick. And I kind of discovered a little life hack or a golf hack. Because I played,
I saw that post.
I played 9 holes. Yeah. 9 holes from 2 different boxes, each hole.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like I played 18 holes.
I was impressed though,
which is pretty fun.
I thought that was like, that's a genius move. But then I thought about, you know what? I can't remember the last time I played it where time would have afforded me that option because there's so many people. Like, no, that would never be going to
win. I went at 6:30 at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good thinking. And it
was fun. I got to tell you, I started the round thinking I was going to play because it was late. And I'm like, I just want to get through 9 holes without worrying about anything. There's no one around. So I'm like, I'm going to play the reds. Like, who cares? I'm going to play the red tees, hit a bunch of 5 irons and wedges and just have kind of a good time. And so the first hole I played just from – I did. I teed off at the whites. Did not hit a good shot. So I walked up to the reds and I'm like, I'm going to play both. And that was kind of the origin of that, just because of my first bad shot off the white tee.
That course, by the way, used to be very popular. I don't know if it still is, but I have never played it for some reason. So I have to get out there sometime.
Really?
Yeah. And that one,
I actually really like
the one picture you posted. I don't know if you just had your photographer hat on, but made it look beautiful.
I never take it off.
Yeah, my mistake,
William.
How dare I?
The East, there's 2 courses. The East course is fine. I think that one is the busiest of the 2 for whatever reason. I really like the West. Like, we should go and play the West. I think it's a pretty fun, kind of local sort of
gem
golf course.
It's a local gem.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like the West a lot. It's, just like any other golf course right now, the fairways are hairy and because they haven't been able to get out to mow. So they were a little long. But it's a good time.
Right. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask for.
Yeah. And the West to me is a little more, forgiving on wayward drives. I mean, there are trees everywhere, but on the West, for some reason, I feel like they're just more, it's a little more playable.
Okay.
It's a good time.
We should add it to the list.
For
All
sure.
right, no show on origin stories this week. It's been 2 weeks, so go over to driverangeheroes.com. You can check out my UST Mamiya Recoil Dart, a new graphite iron shaft, and the Recoil family they have review.
Okay.
should have I have the VA shafts Raijin hybrid review that went up this week. The Bridgestone E12 contact. Go check it out. Again, subscribe to the channel. Like this if you don't mind. We do have to, if Kris can figure it out how to make this work, we're going to be getting together with our buddies Tour Edge in the very near future. So stay tuned for that.
Well, my text to you about something I discovered and learned about today was very related to that very activity.
Oh, all right.
So really, really good.
That's precursor to the post-show production meeting we're going to have now because I'm curious. But we got some stuff going. We're getting that momentum back. That's what I'm trying to say. We're going to get the wheels going here, and eventually this stuff's going to fall into place like we want it to. So
that's right.
Thanks for.
And next week we'll have a winner announced.
You heard it here. Kris said so. Kris said so. It's his responsibility. All right. That's Kris McEwen at Kris McEwen on the social medias. This is his YouTube channel. I'm Bill Bush, driverangeheroes.com, at Range Heroes on all the social medias as well. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for watching this episode. We'll see you next week.